need some background music of some sort.
Do you?
Right?
Elevator music.
I don't know if I want that.
Okay. I've thought of a few. Well, good luck. Hope it all goes good. Do we have? Okay. Sixteenth is our next commission meeting.
That would be, yes.
Wasn't it a special meeting?
It's a special meeting for, because of the state's attorney, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You mean it's for the 16th?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause you said the next, okay, yes, the next regular meeting. Okay. Cool.
Don't wanna screw this up right here, right?
That's fine.
I saw you move it and then put it back.
I put it right back. I still had a bill in front of me on my pile. I'm listening out of both ears.
Well, I just caught the movement of paper and I'm like, wait a minute.
This is a big bill.
Yes, it is.
No,
Right.
that hurts my eyes, actually.
I was looking at it going.
You can't just move your eyes to read, you gotta move your whole head.
I don't know if that'd be a good, gift to our generation.
No, probably not.
Oh, I'm gonna watch a 9:20 before we went in there. No, I was gonna say usually they're, 9:30, 10.
This bill here is rather ambiguous. Most killer, that could be a 20 gauge, who knows what that is. It could be a cat. Could be a cat.
We had one hanging around the courthouse there for 1 week. So we called her and asked her if she came to get it. It came back, Jack had talked the right and he said, "You get all over the sheriff's department."
It's crazy, those darn things.
I think they voluntarily caught
I'll tell you what, my brother moved across 2 states. Or the cat under the hood, when he got to where he was going to his wife's farm, cat got out from under the hood. So, volunteer that I didn't know, that part I would agree with. Wasn't this part approved last meeting? I don't recall when we had the individual bills that came through last meeting with, if that was on there or not. Okay,
But I just wanted to, you know, cause I know forget when, that was last week. I'll make a note.
oh, shoot. We talked about adding something to the agenda about the roads, and I forgot to bring it up. So I'll just,
You mean to do this public notice thing?
yeah,
We can just,
It's under, I forgot.
cause it's not a motion item, we'll just,
that's where I was.
we'll bring it
I
up.
forgot.
No, we just wanna make mention so that people doesn't forget that all the road stuff going on. That's just,
That's the road stuff.
yeah, that's just, it's not an action
Are you
item.
gonna put road issues on there, so it's not going to continue to-
Where does this come out of?
it comes out of our miscellaneous.
And we can do that? Okay?
That's sitting right there, sticking around or coming back.
Oh, really?
Not everything.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm not the only one that misses notifications.
No, that one I didn't even know. No. I don't know. As of right now, I gotta say no. Two semis loaded, we figured.
He was in there last month, right?
I thought I remember that name.
Yeah, but 520 and 520. That was after.
MDU, not much you can do about that.
Well, you can hurry up and pay those.
I don't want one of those after the fact. North Dakota. Road Commissioner, I just watched that one.
Sure, anything?
Apparently not. I'll have to look. I think I put notes, I was gonna report on that. Oh, too much stuff going on. Cut back on something.
It was Verizon, it.
Remove meth?
Hmm?
Remove meth? That's not what it says, but. You see that?
Uh-huh.
I made it by Liza, so it mustn't be.
I showed it to Travis.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like, I know we had him the meeting before, but then the dates were after the last meeting, so he must have had to come back out. Tom Chuck?
Yeah, everything on issue.
That went rather promptly.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion on the bills? Hearing none, Wayne,
I'll vote aye.
Liza,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Marvin,
Aye.
Jean, aye.
If you wanna go
Do
through
we
one
have-
and two, I got, their pick,
Which one?
1 and 2 both.
Yeah. Okay, other business, LMS discounts.
Okay, I just wanted to report, for the LMS discount, that's the quarterly safety class that all the employees are required to take. We received a check in the amount of $2,379.09. That was our discount for everybody participating. We also received, the workman's comp safety discount in the same amount of the $2379.09. And then we got a premium dividend credit, for workman's comp in the amount of $3128.40. So total, we got credited back, $78.86.58 from the Association of Counties. And that's for all your employees, doing what they need to do to keep up on their training.
Liquor license, 450 hook, line, and sinker.
Okay, I have an annual off-sale beer liquor license for Hookline and Sinker for June 2nd, 2021 through June 2nd, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve liquor license 450.
You have a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Marvin,
Aye.
Travis.
Aye.
Liza,
Aye.
Wayne,
Aye.
Jean, aye.
Okay, I just need you to sign that. Thank you.
Pardon? Marvin?
It's probably used to 9:30. We have 2 minutes. Do you want to do that rescue plan thing?
Is that real quick?
I don't, is it quick?
I think so.
Okay.
Your clock is faster than my clock.
Okay,
Okay.
number, are we off again? Number 3, American Rescue Plan?
I asked that American Rescue
Yes.
Plan be put on the agenda, and what I would like us to do is, I would like our auditor to complete that application process and apply for those funds as soon as possible. We may not use those funds, but we need to get applied for, and I do believe we have use for those. And for the public, the guys that are listening, we have monies that are coming from COVID relief of about $795,000 possibly this year. It comes with lots of strings and restrictions, and some of those are not fully clear and understood. We're working with other government agencies to help get those defined. Part of the rules is that if we spend them incorrectly, we have to pay them back. So it's very firm on that. So, but regardless, I think that we have some valid applications to spend that money, and I would like our auditor to complete that application process, and we could receive that money and put it under a special fund and not use it without unanimous board approval. And I'd like to know what the other commissioners feel about that.
Where are we on that right now? You met with,
Well, I've been attending the meetings, and like you said, the guidance is still unclear, they don't have anything specific. That's why at the last meeting, I had said, before we accept $1.6 million, maybe we should have a plan to spend it, because if we don't, it has to be pandemic related. If we don't have a plan to spend $1.6 million, I don't know if it's worth the time of going through and filing quarterly reports and going through all the paperwork just to get it, for it to sit in our account. It's not gonna go away, it's still there for us to grab. I haven't heard any deadline that if you don't apply it at
Okay.
a certain point that it's gone.
that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
If we don't
Yeah,
apply
that's what I was
today,
gonna
is it
ask
still
you.
there tomorrow?
I believe so. Have you
Okay.
heard of, have you been attending, anybody been attending the NACO webinars on it?
No.
I'm not aware of any deadline to apply for it.
Okay, that would be like my recommendation is, yeah, if there's a deadline, let's apply for it. We can always give the money back if we don't
Have a plan.
spend it in accordance with their guidelines.
Guidelines, yeah.
I would firmly agree with that. And, I'll try to do some more homework to see if there is a deadline. And we can talk about it again.
Okay,
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep.
okay. Now, Marvin and Lori Belinsky.
Okay,
Okay, you're on.
zoning case 210501. This is an application from Marvin and Lori Belinsky for approval of a proposed zoning amendment to remove 8 acres from the conditional use permit 160401, which was originally a 10-acre non-farm residence within the agricultural zone of Mercer County zoning district map. The subject parcel is located approximately 3 miles northeast of Hazen, and the parcel is 2 acres in size and is described as a southwest quarter of section 26-145-86. I think I saw. I didn't.
Did this go in front of P and Z?
Yes,
Yep, they
They
recommend.
approved it?
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
And they did recommend approval with the same conditions that we usually have on there. With the present and future owners are responsible for snow removal and maintenance of private roads, approaches, septic systems must meet Custer Health District standards and provide school bus turnaround if needed. You know, them same ones, but really there already are a non-farm. They just wanna take 8 acres and put it back into ag land.
Okay,
Cause they're gonna be getting a different house and the bank only wanted 2 acres on there.
so do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I so move to approve case 21-05-01.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Oh, none. Well, hearing none. Marvin, how do you
Aye.
vote?
Is it aye?
Oh, sorry. Liza?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Wayne?
I'll vote aye.
Jean, aye.
Okay, case 210502 is an application from Justin Seiler for approval of a conditional use for a non-farm residence within the agricultural zone. The subject parcel is located approximately 9 miles north and 5 miles west of Golden Valley. The parcel is approximately 2.5 acres in size and is described as the north half of the east half of the southwest quarter of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of section 32-14690. And he basically is gonna move a manufactured home onto his parents' land. And so he has approval from Custer District Health, he'll be getting Southwest Water, and they'll be using his mom and dad's road for the bus turnaround, right?
Good point. I was-
And they did recommend approval of that on May 20th also.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve 210502.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Travis?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Jean, aye.
Okay, on the agenda, I had a typo on there for, it should have been 569 first and then 568 second.
We made that correction.
Oh, you changed it already? Okay. Sorry, I'm behind the ball.
Nope, that's
Okay.
fine.
Case number 569 is an application for a temporary use permit from Buffalo Sands LLC for a haul road. The subject parcel is 280 acres and is located approximately 4 miles east of Hazen and is described as the west half of section 14, township 144, range 86. They did recommend approval with the condition that all costs related to construction, maintenance, and removal of this roadway at the termination of easement will be borne of Buffalo Sands. And I also did email you guys that request from Rob Rayhorn from DOT. And normally, I think you guys usually put on there subject to North Dakota DOT approval too, but that was the only motion they made was the cost of removing the road. So, I don't know how you guys wanna,
I have a question, Cindy. When we get to the point, yes, I will ask that we put on the condition of getting approval from DOT for the location. There was a question about turning lane, and I thought they wanted some language about a turning lane be put into this.
yeah, that's why I
What-
said, that was, I was talking about the DOT request. I had sent you guys that stuff
Okay.
from Rob Rayhorn.
And Jessica probably knows more about that than I do, yes or no?
I know they proposed it, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and I think you
Okay, at the planning and zoning, I think they, if my memory is correct, they said, well, we need to get some proper verbiage on that, so we're gonna wait till this meeting to get that on there. But that'll be covered if we just do that?
Well, no, they proposed, what they wanted to add was that email that I sent you where it says, right turn lane meeting North Dakota DOT requirements is required when daily truck movement exceeds 45 trucks per day into the site. The permittee must submit a weekly haul summary to the North Dakota DOT when requested, or when average trucks exceed 45 per day. The North Dakota DOT may take traffic counts at any time, and the necessity of a turn lane is at the sole discretion of the North Dakota DOT. Turn lane plans must be prepared by a licensed professional engineer and submitted to the North Dakota DOT for approval within 3 months of notification, and construction of the turn lane must be completed within 9 months of the original plan submitted.
Who wrote that? Pardon me, go ahead.
Rob Rayhorn wrote
That
that.
came from DOT, yeah, and, they've indicated they have no objection to that. I think what was confusing here is we don't typically see DOT chime in until it's approved. So I think that might have thrown everybody off of it, but you wanna just have the general, as we usually do, subject to DOT approval to include, and put that paragraph.
Right, so I was gonna say, what's the date of that letter from Rob Rayhorn?
That email?
What you just read, yeah. Oh, I have it here too.
Yeah,
It's-
I don't, too much paper.
I got it.
I had it here somewhere. I was looking for it.
That was, well, that's Capital Power had two different
But
emails.
my question is, should we add that? Do we wanna add that?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we do.
Because I added it to the one here, and then I have the North Dakota DOT approval and that other one that they did with the cost related. I have that all. on
Is
all
that,
three.
That was May 21st.
Is that gonna be added to, temp use permit 569?
Yeah.
Or temp use 568? That would be on
69.
569? We would add
As
that?
it pertains to the road.
Okay.
Okay, I have a,
So,
I'm sorry.
then, would we, I think the proper way to do it is have a motion, have a second, and then amend it and include that language.
I think it's already written.
Yeah, Cindy has it.
Is it?
I have it written that way, or did you want me to change it?
Before we make a motion, I have another question for
Do I
Jessica.
have that here?
But she's changing it now.
Jessica, would you mind adding something, and a permit from and a permit from DOT at the proposed location?
I had it on here when you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm changing it just to say, subject to ND DOT approval to include the following, and then we'll put that paragraph in.
Okay. I have a question for you, Jessica, and the board members. Part of what we just got done discussing was how would they would bear the cost of removing that road if we didn't, but if it's no longer needed, right? How do we enforce that?
No. What they're asking is if the trucks exceed a certain amount that they,
No,
He's talking about something completely
He's
different.
talking
Oh.
about that other one with
He's talking
where
about the
P and Z made that motion
Okay.
for the all costs related to construction, maintenance, and removal of the roadway.
Yep. Okay, what determines that, being this is not tied to the plant, the sand mine, let's just say the sand mine goes away for whatever reason, what's to determine that they have to remove the road? Because it's not tied to that.
Well, and like Nick had said, sometimes the
Land-
landowners want.
That would be,
keep the
that
road.
would be beside the point, though.
Well, I have no
Well,
idea. I didn't make the
That's
motion.
what, I know, that's why I'm asking the question to Jessica.
Oh.
Board of Commissioners that would make the determination if they wanted the board.
well,
Typically, when we're looking at reclamation or those sorts of issues, especially as it relates to a road, we make it subject to the approval of the highway superintendent so he can review it.
Well, and this one, this is actually in their agreement, that's that top one there. Yeah, it's in their agreement with the landowner, and that's where Klein got it from, and, you know, then Lindsay approved that requirement.
Right, so this is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the private road on the private
Right,
land,
right,
And you have an underlying agreement with the landowner.
right.
So we're just basically reciting what's done there. So if you wanna say all costs related, termination of easement will be borne by Buffalo Sands, subject to the approval of the landowner and the highway superintendent, that way
because it may stay, yeah, it may stay in. Very likely it will stay in.
I think you would want to.
Yeah, I would think so too, yeah.
It's hard to give them a good road.
It is,
Yeah.
right?
Because if the landowner says, do you wanna keep it?
Yeah, what
Highway
if-
superintendent says, highway superintendent says, no problem, or it's a done deal.
Right, because basically, wouldn't that roadway be owned by the landowner, so to
Right,
speak?
it is, right.
It's his road, so.
is.
So it'd
if
be
he
his
doesn't-
road to
They
maintain.
had indicated at P and Z that if he wanted to keep it, he'd have to come back to P and Z and ask to keep it, where, now that she reworded it like that, then it'll be okay, I think.
Well, if they cease operations, it's no longer operating as a haul road. And then the ag owner would just be utilizing the road.
Right, what if he
Right.
wants to
ag
keep it?
purposes. So then the temporary use permit would expire and he keeps his road if he wants to, but it would
Right.
be pertaining to the ag zoning.
Right.
Good,
Okay,
that answered my concern.
okay, so,
So we're back to the motion, and that, you
I'm
wrote
really-
something in that letter, Jessica, about
yeah, I would,
the turning lane?
don't know if we want
Yes.
you to reread the entire thing again,
No,
but
but I'll
there
read-
have been,
Okay.
there
Okay.
are changes,
So we'll change it to all costs related to construction, maintenance, and removal of this roadway at the termination of easement will be borne of Buffalo Sands, subject to approval of the landowner and highway superintendent. And then subject to North Dakota DOT approval to include the following, that whole thing from Robert.
And that's that paragraph that the DOT sent us,
Right.
okay?
That's the one you just added something to it.
Yep.
We did a little bit, but yeah, that's it.
So how do we identify those two paragraphs in a motion?
Yeah.
I'll retype it and then.
I know that.
Well, but with those two conditions, so you could move to approve, as presented, cause that's what she.
With the addition of those two conditions.
Yeah, well, as presented is what it is right now, is what she just read.
Okay,
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
Mr. Chair, and I move to accept case 569 with the inclusions of the two conditions described and presented today.
do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Marvin,
Aye.
Liza,
Aye.
Wayne,
I'll vote aye.
Travis,
Aye.
Jean, I.
Okay, zoning case 568, this is an application for a temporary use permit from Buffalo Sands LLC for an aggregate materials operation that will produce sand primarily for fracturing wells. The subject parcel is 160 acres and is located approximately 4 miles east and 2 miles south of Hazen and is described as the northeast quarter of section 23, township 14486.
Very familiar.
What was the recommendation of planning and
Oh,
zoning?
they recommended approval with just the regular conditions. They didn't, you guys didn't add any new conditions, sorry.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve, temporary use permit 568.
Have a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? Well, I'm gonna have to ask for discussion before we make the motion. There's usually a lot of discussion beforehand. Okay, Travis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Jean, I.
Okay, temporary use permit number 570 is an application from Dakota Gasification Company for a Wildcat stratigraphic test well. The location is the southwest quarter, section 1, township 14588. And I have the conditions attached, or like the normal ones, like the area disturbed under this temporary use must be reclaimed by the applicant and must be approved and released by county road superintendent. Hall Road must be approved and released by the county road superintendent, and the permit holder shall control weeds in acceptable manner during this time the permit is in effect, subject to finalization of authorization for access by landowners, and the following conditions shall apply on-site to on-site temporary housing facilities, and those are just the A through F that are in our ordinance. You want me to read all them too?
Yep.
Yes. But, and this did not go to P and Z, it's coming straight here, so.
Right.
I'm just gonna do that. Pardon? Yeah. Anybody here from DGC?
Yeah, Kevin Solly.
Yes,
And could,
would you,
there's land that it's being placed on.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Commissioners, and staff. My name's Kevin Soley. I actually work for Basin Electric Power Cooperative, not DGC, but I'm here on behalf of DGC for this temporary use permit. And also Chris Freeze from Coteau, the property owner, is here as well. And so this is, like Cindy mentioned, this is a temporary use permit application for a wildcat well, or what we would call a stratigraphic test well. And the purpose of the well is to kind of investigate something called the Broom Creek Formation, which is about 7,000 feet below the surface, and to kind of check it out to see how it might work out for the sequestration of carbon dioxide.
okay,
Okay.
That's what it's about.
that'd be my basic question.
Yeah.
Anybody else have questions for him?
I would like to, Representative Coteau, do you guys have any concerns, or, and if you want to make a comment, it's up to you. I mean, you drove all the way here.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Yeah, it's good to have the opportunity to speak since I drove for an hour, so. No.
Yep.
No, we don't have any concerns. We're all for this. It's on our property, land that we own, inside our permit boundary area. We're good with the project.
Okay?
Okay, it is property you own?
It is.
Okay, because you said something about landowner.
So is the.
Oh, okay, okay, sorry. Okay,
Kevin, what was your last name again?
The last name is Soley, and it's S as in Sam, O-L-I-E.
Thank you.
anybody else?
Thanks,
have any-
Chris.
And this
Anybody else
doesn't have
have
to,
any-
this doesn't have to go to P and Z, this goes straight to us, is that what you said? It's temp use, okay.
Under our temporary use, there's specific ones that have to go back to P and Z first, but this isn't one of them, so it can go
Okay.
straight through here.
You can railroad.
Any other thoughts, concerns, questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve 570?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve application 570.
I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Marvin?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Gene, aye.
How'd we skip 575?
Yeah, we did, we skipped one. Sorry.
Gotta go back.
Mhm. I thought you did that on purpose.
Maybe I did.
What did Gene say before? Always somebody else.
Case number 5075, this is an application from the Planning Commission to amend one chapter and many sections of the Mercer County zoning ordinance as follows. Chapter 3, zoning districts, section 1, ag districts, conditional uses, O, wind energy facilities. And that's the one that you guys had tabled last time we had it in front of you.
Okay.
Has this been brought to P and Z?
Yeah, that's where, they
That's what
redid the whole thing.
The wind ordinance did, the resolution to amend did not.
Amend it, the amendment.
Well, they're the ones who proposed it.
What is before you is what they finalized,
This is what they proposed.
what they're proposing for your review.
Okay, sorry.
What's before you is their recommendation.
We've also received in your packet this morning 2 letters from Capital Power and one from Robert Burns.
So,
I'm sure you saw those.
Jessica, you're saying I interpreted this to say that there's a new resolution out there to amend the wind ordinance.
It's the one you guys wrote up.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Okay.
You tabled it.
So you remember,
Yep.
there was a committee that ultimately made the official proposed amendment, which triggered the process then, so we did the public hearing down at P and Z. After that public hearing, it's been, at P and Z multiple times to then finalize what is their recommendation to you guys. Upon your approval, then that would be the new amendment resolution. So, maybe some before you is what ultimately P and Z approved for your review.
And we're being requested by other entities to make an amendment to what P and Z approved.
Right, because now you're able to change and tweak this however you'd like for your final
Okay.
approval.
But we can take some of these amended possibilities and send it back to P and Z too.
Correct,
Well, certainly, I mean, yeah, that's something.
for discussion.
You can approve it, you could reject it entirely, you could,
Yeah.
send it back to P and Z for
Yep.
further review,
Or we could change it and approve it.
or what?
Or we could just change it and approve it.
Exactly.
Okay.
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 Mr. Chairman, for discussion, I'm gonna make a motion. I move to deny,
Just
Go
wait,
ahead.
just
Got
wait.
people on the agenda that wanted to speak.
Yeah, just wait, Marvin. I know where you're
I thought
going.
you said this, okay. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's, you got people on there, so.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay.
yeah, just wait.
Got it. I'm ready.
Well, so once you make the motion, we kinda tie our fingers.
Yeah.
But
I know.
we're good.
Okay, we had, April Oster on the, what,
Not here.
oh, she's not here. No,
Anna's
she's not.
here.
Anna's here. Anna. We'll let you speak on behalf of,
Yourself.
Okay, good morning. My name is Anna Novak, and I am a resident of Hazen. As you mentioned, I'm here today in regards to the wind ordinance that the Planning and Zoning Committee has put together. Now, there are parts of it, I can't say that I read through the entire thing and analyzed it thoroughly, but there are parts of it that don't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I know that a lot of time and effort went into it, and I have to trust that the people in the Planning and Zoning Committee did their due diligence and put forth a draft that makes good sense for us. However, there is one part, though, that I believe must be changed, and I'm coming to you here today instead of the Planning and Zoning Committee, because I think that my reasoning has more to do with the good of the county versus the zoning aspects of the ordinance. The issue I have is under number 4, special use permit application. It's number 9 on the last page. Okay, and it states that a power purchase agreement shall be provided no later than 6 months after approval of the permit. I believe that it's in the best interest of our county to know the utility that plans to purchase the power before granting the permit. My guess is that a lot of the parameters of this ordinance were based on what other counties have done for their own wind ordinances, but there are 0 other counties in the state that are so dependent upon the jobs created by a competing energy source, and that's coal. The transmission lines in the state are basically at their full capacity right now. And so it becomes a situation where more of one power source means less of another power source. And I'm sure that you're aware that while the wind industry does employ a few temporary workers to put the towers up, those jobs are not permanent, and they won't bring permanent people to our communities. So it's in our best interest to protect the jobs at the plants and the mines, and knowing who plans to purchase the power before we give a permit is a way that we can protect the people living here, which is who you all represent. I don't know if any of you recall the timeline of how things transpired with Coal Creek Station, but I will give you a recap because I know that 3 of you are new to the Commissioner Board this year. So at the end of January of 2020, Great River Energy indicated that they were struggling financially at the plant, and they were considering some options and would make a decision for the plant's future sometime in 2020. In February of 2020, so a month later, Great River Energy proposed a wind farm to be built in McLean County, and they wanted to use the transmission lines there to get the power from North Dakota to Minnesota. McLean County said no and enacted the 2-year wind moratorium, so the wind farm did not move forward. McLean County was criticized greatly by wind companies as well as groups like North Dakotas for Comprehensive Energy Solutions. But fast forward to March of this year, where it was announced that Great River Energy was in exclusive negotiations with an unnamed buyer to sell the plant. And from what I understand from reading different news sources, the deal will involve carbon capture, possibly a data center, and a wind farm. So in the end, there will likely be a wind farm there as well. But it is more of a value add than anything because the plant and the mine will stay open. I am elated for the communities of Underwood and Washburn, because they're actually going to be better off now than just having the plant in the mine. But that is a direct result of their county knowing how valuable those transmission lines are and coming together to fight for the jobs of the people that work there, and not just taking the crumbs that Great River Energy wanted to give them. Obviously, Great River didn't get their way, and I don't believe that any utility will make the same mistake that they did in asking for a permit after announcing plans to shut down. They're going to do their best to make sure that they have their ducks in a row before announcing plans to shut down a plant. And while I have many friends and family that work for the utilities, and I know that they're great employers and they do a lot for their communities, the people that run them are not looking at how the plant closure will devastate the communities and Mercer County in general. They are driven by profits, tax subsidies, and unfortunately, many times political agendas. My guess is that they will do their best to place their own employees at different locations. But what about everybody else here? My daycare provider said that 75% of her families have one or two parents that work at the plants and the mines. And it's the same at the schools, where the state gives $10,000 per student at the school. And it isn't just the plants and the mines that are affected, it's the banks, the grocery stores, the hardware stores, and every other business here, because they exist to provide services to the people that live here. If people leave, those businesses cannot keep going. I don't know what the future looks like for Mercer County, but I think that we need to hold on to what we have for as long as possible. And I can't say that I know any of you on a real personal level, but Mercer County is small. And what I do know, I believe that each and every one of you ran for county commissioner because you all wanted to make a difference for the good of our county. And I think that part of that is making sure that we don't give up our bargaining chips, which are our transmission lines, before we have all the information in front of us. I don't believe that any of you would say that you would support a utility's decision to close a plant and replace the jobs of the people that you know that work here with wind power. If wind power is a value add to our county, I think that a lot of people here would be in support of that, but it cannot replace what we have, the jobs, the tax revenue, or baseload power, especially after the power outages our state experienced in February. And I think that it would ease your minds in giving permitting if we knew who was going to be buying the power and we could be assured that it wasn't going to result in a plant closure. It is very important that the people living here know that all 5 of you care about their livelihoods, and ensuring that a power purchase agreement is in place before we give the permit for a wind project so that we know who plans to purchase the power is a way that you can do that. And I believe that this is a reasonable request for a county that wouldn't even have half of the residents that they do without the coal industry. And with that, I'll stand here for questions.
I'm a little bit, I'm lost for words here. We are not meeting to lift the moratorium right now. All this is to make changes to the current,
Ordinance.
to the,
And that's why I'm here too. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
as I mentioned on the last page.
so, yeah. So this is just, changing, our, wind ordinance, making changes to the ordinance. If we were to make any and/or pay what the P and Z already has changed, we're not here, anyway, it was my impression, we're not here to discuss the moratorium at all. Am I wrong, fellow commissioners? Well, it's silent.
It's not specifically stated, but they're a little bit related. But
I know they're related,
it's
but
not-
we weren't going to discuss, lifting the moratorium today.
I'm not
We were
prepared-
here to
yeah,
discuss, I
exactly.
thought, my understanding
Right.
was just the wind ordinance is what we were gonna discuss.
Right.
It's fine, yes, sir.
So,
And
as far
that's-
as I'm concerned, the moratorium is gonna stay in place as of today,
But
unless the rest of the commission would feel differently. But
But I-
the ordinance, we'll either okay the ordinance or make changes to the ordinance or send it back to P and Z,
Right.
which, no matter what we do, isn't gonna affect the moratorium today.
But-
It could lead to it, but that's putting
Right.
the cart before the horse, because first you gotta decide what you wanna do with the
Yeah.
Ordinance.
Yes.
And I'm asking you to change a part of the
Yeah,
ordinance.
and saying she wants an adjustment in the
In
ordinance.
the ordinance, right.
Yes.
Because there is some issues as far as effective dates and whatnot that would affect the moratorium if and when we get to that point. But first, we gotta decide what we're doing with the ordinance.
So she requested number 9.
Right, so she's
Okay.
looking at that specific term.
Now, you ready for me?
Go ahead, Marvin.
Due to for discussion, I'm gonna make a motion, okay? I move to deny acceptance of Mercer County wind ordinance and that it be returned to planning and zoning for further consideration.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. Go ahead.
The reason I made the motion is several, and I was a member of the committee that helped draft this ordinance, and there were a couple other individuals that, we spent a lot of time, in fact, we broke Cindy's budget on having meetings and discussions and phone calls and whatever.
Yes, they did.
So, we did put a lot of thought into it. And some of these discussions that are coming, that I see in front of me today, were addressed, but maybe not as specifically as they could be. And I'm referring right now to the Capital Power sent a letter that they want a couple things changed. I'm tired of beating this over, it's the wrong word, of re-evaluating this over and over again, but I will say again that we possibly didn't discuss some of the things as specifically as they possibly could be. So I do agree that we should deny acceptance and run this through planning and zoning one more time and then move forward. So that's why I made the motion. Besides Capital Power, I heard your recommendation or thoughts and concerns, and I've also received a phone call from another county regarding some concerns about it. So I'd like to bring those all back up to the planning and zoning because they were unaware of them.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify, because we're not actually denying it, you're sending it back. So we don't want to deny it and start over.
No, no.
Okay.
I just
So,
said
to
deny
clar-
acceptance is what I said,
Right,
but
but-
take the word out.
Yeah, so to just, right now will be to send it back to planning and zoning to consider, because it's
To
capital power, Mr.
reconsider, yeah.
Harms, there's a few different topics, so
Right.
it'll be to send it back, not deny.
Okay, then I will change my motion that says I move to send Apple 7.5 back to planning and zoning.
Okay.
There we go.
For further consideration.
That's
Yes,
all I
because we
need.
got also a
Is
letter
that-
about the setback.
Okay, she seconded the first, so she has to agree to
I-
that.
Yeah, I'd like to second that.
Okay. Sorry.
Any questions
But
for me?
yeah,
on
we also
anything?
had, we had
I
some
don't have
more.
Thanks, Dana.
No more questions for you. So yes, but just to clarify, we're not, and I know it sounds like we're gonna kick the can down the road, but we're not gonna change the moratorium today. So sending this back, well, I'm not saying we won't change the moratorium, but it's my opinion that we won't change it today. And I got 4 other commissioners here that,
We can't.
We
It's
have
not
to
on-
have
We
this
have to have
approved
this.
first.
It's not on the.
so just to let you know. Anyway, okay, we got a motion and a second to send this back to P and Z.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
On page 2, it's item J. It says wind energy facility, one or more wind turbines, nameplate capacity. Should that be kilowatts instead of kilovolts? Usually power is done in,
I'm sorry, where are you? Under,
Number,
it's definitions, page 2, item J, where it says wind energy facility.
oh,
And it says combined nameplate capacity of over 115 kilovolts. It should be kilowatts or,
It says
I
Kill.
think you're right, but I just wanna double check, because I heard that. Hold on for a second. Wanted to cross-reference, I wanna make sure.
because typically power is rated in watts, not in volts, because voltage is a
Right.
potential.
Right.
Yeah, because initially, what we have here
Yeah, and I mean, it says kilovolts,
Right.
but I think it should be kilowatts.
Should be
But
kilowatt.
the number,
Different,
yeah,
so-
okay.
Okay.
You know on that, Mark?
I'm hoping Cindy did.
I am, I got it.
It's taped, isn't it?
I got him, I'm making them all here.
Okay, your motion was to send it
I have
back.
a
Yep.
discussion item too as well on this. I was just gonna, go off of what Anna was referring to. And just wondering, is there any way that we can have anything in there that says that, like, for the board of directors or who makes the decision on it, that it has to be a certain percentage from North Dakota? Cause I know that was something that was an issue over in McLean. Like, all the people on the board of directors were from Minnesota, so when they decided to sell the company, it was all people from Minnesota. And I didn't know if that's an option or not.
I don't think so.
Not possible? Okay.
That'd be really tough to enforce, I think.
Whatever you want, your permit, but
Right, I'm trying to legally think through that and I don't.
let's get back to you on that one.
Okay,
You're
okay.
gonna get back to us after
Because
the,
ultimately, companies can operate anywhere if they're registered there, and so the headquarter potential and whatnot, I don't know that we can.
They were just looking at it for the portion of if North Dakota had a say in what happened with this company, then they thought it would be different than what was happening with Cold Creek over there.
gonna get back to us before the 30th?
Yeah, I don't know if you can regulate interstate commerce like that. That would probably be challenged
Right,
by the
that's
Attorney
what
General.
came to my brain was,
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
And I'm not a lawyer, but that just
Right,
stresses me.
that's what I mean, was, yeah. Noted though.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing no more. Marvin, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Wayne?
How about I?
Gene, aye. Okay.
Planning and zoning it goes.
Oh my goodness, you're almost right on time.
No kidding, we did that just in time.
I hope Cindy's got enough in her budget, you know.
With it as long as I could. Just burned up the budget.
I think there were a lot of people thought we were going to change the moratorium. I know it can go hand in hand.
So that was like,
Well, I think the moratorium stated that
until it's reviewed and.
until the wind ordinance is approved, so once it was approved, then it,
Then it can be.
Right.
Okay, I was not aware that it was.
I believe that's, Jessica and I wrote that up.
It was, yeah, dependent on review.
And the adoption of the wind ordinance.
So, but even if it would have been approved, we could have still said we leave the moratorium in place.
Right, you could have, but there's publication requirements too, that it would have actually went into effect for like a month. or anything.
Okay.
Well, we get the
Well,
fun.
we are at 10 o'clock now. Chip seal bid letting.
Need somebody to make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we close the bid and letting bids. Yeah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Well, any discussion? Guess there really isn't any. Wayne, how do you vote?
How about I?
Liza?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Gene, aye. Okay. So this was our re-bidding
Rebidding, yeah.
because of an error.
Charlie, I got a bill from the Bismarck Tribune yesterday too for the second publication. Do you want that or do I send it to the highway department?
You can send it to me.
Okay,
Yep.
it's in my office, so
Yep.
I can swing by there after the meeting. We normally don't get them, that's why I was confused.
Sure.
Bet we got 4 different ways to spell that.
No, you don't even wanna see how I spelled it.
Just abbreviate it.
There we
EIT.
go. Am I doing alternate bid, base bid, what?
Yeah, the base,
Never mind.
base bid and then alternate bid, and then your total.
Okay, the base bid, $158,268. $158,268. The base bid plus the alternate bid, $400,634.55. $400,634.55.
What was the alternate bid?
You want that separate? Alternate bid was $242,366.55. $242,366.55.
Wow.
Okay, I'm in the dark. What's the difference between base bid and alternate bid?
About $240,000.
No, well,
Yeah.
242 to be exact.
I'm legal, not the engineer. I don't know.
what's the difference between base and alternate?
So the base bid would include the 3 roads of County Road 5, County Road 20, and the, Hazen Bay Road.
Yeah.
Yep. And the alternate was 26, and, the other one escaping me now.
County Road 26 was the alternate.
Oh,
20's for sure, 5 for sure, and Beaver Bay.
oh, Beaver Bay, sorry.
Alternates were Hazen Bay. and-
26,
and
25,
26.
Beaver Bay, and Hazen Bay.
So,
No, the alternates were 26 and Hazen Bay.
26,
Past
25,
DGC.
Beaver Bay and Hazen Bay?
No,
No.
26, 20, 5, Beaver Bay, Hazen Bay.
What was
Okay.
the
so the
alternate?
yeah.
That's the alternate.
The alternate is 26
Yep.
and Hazen Bay.
Huh?
Okay.
The
So 2
alternate
different things
includes.
here.
Yeah, so we had, you did that overlay on 26 last year.
Yeah.
And Hazen Bay is being done this year. We threw those in as alternates, cause typically you let a year or 2 pass before you do the chip seal. But if we got good pricing, sometimes it's beneficial to do it right away. So that's why they did the alternate for 26 and Hazen Bay. One was done last year as far as the overlay, and one is gonna be done this year, so, that's
Yeah.
kind of the reason for it.
So the
I
price
got
would
to-
still be good for the following year when Hazen Bay would need it?
No.
Or
No,
you would
no,
just
no,
do it
no.
all in one time?
Yeah, if you approve the alternate, you would do it this year,
Do it
at the
this year.
conclusion of
Yeah.
Hazen Bay. It would be done after it was milled and overlaid.
The alternate includes the base plus 2 more roads.
No, the alternate is just for those 2 roads.
Oh, it is?
So if you accept the base plus the alternate, then it's for
Okay,
everything.
gotcha.
Okay, now I'm gonna back up here because I wrote down 2 different things. The base bid, County Road 5, County Road 20, and Hazen Bay Road.
Beaver Bay.
Beaver Bay.
Beaver Bay?
Yep,
On the base.
on the base.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes, he
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, the alternate includes
Hazen Bay.
26,
And Hazen?
25,
No, just,
No, no, no.
not
No,
25?
25.
There's no 20, Beaver, and Hazen Bay.
correct.
Right.
Clear as mud.
Well, it
Yep.
was, I wrote down what was said, but it got switched.
Got
But
it.
now I got it.
Got it.
Okay, the next one is asphalt preservation.
Wow, got 2 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asphalt
That's good.
preservation. The total base
That's good.
bid, $235,791.39. $235,791.39. Total alternate bid, $502,974.62. $502,974.62. Total, $738,766.01. $738,766.01.
Definitely higher.
That's a big difference. That's a big difference. Okay.
kinda sharp. The wild,
Yeah.
Shannon would
Well,
have
that
to
was way
move.
at the beginning, Wade.
Yeah,
We were around the little table.
yeah,
Okay, anyway,
around the square table.
right. This is Asphalt Service Technologies Corporation, also known as Aztec, A-S-T-E-C-H, Aztec. All of these are out of Minnesota, by the way. Total base bid, $101,629.36. $101,629.36. Total alternate bid, $252,019.19. $252,019.19. Total bid, $353,648.55. $353,648.55.
Charlie, do you know what the engineer's estimate were on
Hopefully
this?
maybe half as
Aztec is usually pretty cheap.
Charlie, do you have the engineer's estimate for this project?
We were just talking about that, and I wanna say it was 250,000, I thought.
For the base bid?
Yes, I believe that was what it was.
Did you have one for the alternate?
I did, but I did not, I apologize, did not bring that with me,
Okay, that's fine.
but I can get you that information, absolutely. And I'll review the bids too, to make sure that they're,
Okay.
Do you guys have any
Corner TC.
preferences or concerns with any of these bids? I'm not talking money-wise, I'm talking quality of work and time-wise, things like that.
the contractors specifically, reputation and things as such.
Yeah.
I don't. I do not have any experience with asphalt preservation, however, I do know, I believe that we've received references on them recently because they have bid work in this area, and we've received nothing but good comments back on them. Clearly, they're the high bidder, but that was the only one that I have not worked with. The other two, Aztec, again, this is an opinion, but they're probably some of the better chip seal work I've seen in my personal experience. And there's nothing wrong with bituminous, they do a fantastic job as well. When I reference Aztec, I guess I'm speaking directly to my experience with them on projects, and their distributor was very, very good. He was clean, they weren't sloppy with it, and I guess they followed the spec really well. Bituminous did the same thing, they were good at following the spec, I just haven't worked with them as much in this capacity as I have Aztec, so.
Okay.
Can't go wrong, sounds like that.
No, I don't
No.
believe we can go wrong with any
No.
pick here.
The reason I asked the question, one of the bids was almost 50% of the other one. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
big
There's a big,
difference.
big variance here.
Are you gonna check these now and wanna award today, or are you wanting it next meeting?
I can do it today, that's fine. Yep.
Okay.
What do we have for a budget for this?
That's next question I was gonna ask Ken. I didn't bring my road budget. What did we have for projects this year?
Wanna open the conference room?
I got
for
it
you?
too.
Sit there.
I got it on my,
Yeah,
Okay, so you're gonna review those and get back to us later
Yeah.
today yet?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so we can,
Oh, and I'll double check against our budget on it as
let me,
well.
Okay.
let me ask you this. If we,
Who has this budget? Do you remember?
no, I don't. I had,
If you wanna just
I'd-
pause for a second, I can go grab it.
Well, when they come back, you have it.
do you have the 3-year project plan?
where are we here?
Yeah, it's in my.
You've lost your
from last
chairman,
year.
where are we? What are you discussing?
Getting the budget.
Right.
Okay,
Do you wanna take a 5-minute recess?
I might have to just to find out where my meeting's
Where
going.
you're at. You're gonna have to
Okay.
move down here and I can help you out.
Wow, they're,
You're
I
down
didn't know
there,
we're
they
just,
just,
okay,
5-minute recess.
they get too spun up.
sure. We can do that if you, well, you may need more than 5 minutes, but you wanna go get budget information. And we got, 10:30 is our next. How long you guys want? 5, 10?
I think if we do 10, then Charlie might have enough time, possibly, and then Shannon can do
Okay.
the budget. if
Tim.
that's okay.
Yeah, all right, we'll take a 10-minute recess.
Executive decision.
We have a,
All of a sudden, we're hitting the button.
well, what is our budget this year?
Yeah.
One is,
I
we have
follow you now.
a 3-year, 5-year plan.
You're
One
doing
is just
fine.
fit, isn't it?
You just gotta come to the table. You're doing fine.
And I did not,
Yeah, you guys are leaving me out down there.
I did not bring that information. Normally I do. That's why Shanna said, well, Marv, you got it.
Well, I'm sorry, but I was just looking at these numbers and looking them over, and you mentioned the differences in numbers, and I'm saying, yeah, I'm thinking this, and all once you said, they're going, well, do you have your budget with you? And I'm going, whoa, time out, where are we here?
Time to regroup. But you saw my flag though, one was 50%, it was like.
Yes.
But he didn't have any concern with them. Ashton.
We're looking at 400, 738.
And the other one's 350.
Yeah, they're all over the place here.
Apparently asphalt reservation.
Is when I'm not including gravel, or?
We forgot to bring something up. I'm gonna do it on portfolio. I'll do it on portfolio.
Okay.
About the roads impact. We were gonna do it underneath roads and we forgot.
They're not done, I mean, you'll still go back to the Senate Bill 2016 under the roads and stuff, so the road discussions are done yet. Another item.
But we didn't
Yeah,
add it to the
good.
agenda though.
Yeah, good.
But
But it can file into
the
there?
Senate Bill 2016 is on the agenda.
Yeah. I don't know what Marvin has. I just wrote myself a note that Marvin has something.
Crap, it really flies.
Maybe you need to drink more milk.
You know, I drink a fair share of that.
And a banana. I bet you need a banana. Huh,
And I take vitamin D. It's pretty weird.
yeah.
And I stay away from chocolate and caffeine. Caffeine will do it to me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Talking biological reactions.
I have to stay away from caffeine and chocolate. I get cramps in my legs if I take it. I think it pushes all the water out of my system. It does. Even though I drink a lot of water. So, I was standing here all of a sudden. She thought I was making a face at her, but I wasn't.
That was his Winston name.
Yep.
So, I'll chug this down quick, see if that helps. I did have a cup of coffee this morning. I get one every morning, that's the only one I cheat on.
That's your name for pain.
Right? Just line it up.
I don't drink coffee, I don't usually drink pop, it's got caffeine in it.
Oh, really?
If I need to stay awake, 4 or 5 ounces of cold.
Yeah. Because you don't do it otherwise. Yeah.
I remember one time in college, I had a certain adult beverage that had some ginseng and stuff in it. That was at like 8 o'clock at night, I didn't fall asleep until almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, never gonna do that
Yeah,
again.
that's a no. Put that on the list.
Energy drinks, no.
Never really drank energy drinks, but I've gotten a lot better in college though. I mean, I could sometimes have 4 or 5 bottles of Mountain Dew in a day. And it disgusts me now.
My kids would say, yeah,
There's gotta be something. I'm not misunderstood these bids. I mean, you're talking 350 to 738. Okay.
Still up here. Where is it?
Benedict?
Benedict. I always go to like Minnesota towns. Sorry. You haven't had to go up there for a while? That's good.
Probably gonna be in holiday the next couple weeks.
Oh, really? You said July is when they're starting the roundabout, right? It's been a while since I've been there. I went to Minnesota for graduation this last weekend. It's a lot of different events.
Sorry about that, everybody. Grandma Linda.
I didn't email you either.
Yeah, you emailed me.
Yeah,
Travis-
see?
you have a Travis seat
Mark,
with me?
did you get an email from me?
Yes, a while ago.
See?
Brenda did too.
Oh.
I almost had a heart attack when it popped up on my watch, and I'm like,
Say,
last week I got an email that they're doing a worldwide bank investigation, and they determined that this worldwide bank intercepted my $3.1 million transaction. So I just gotta get a hold of them and they'll give me that money.
Well,
Well,
that's easy.
And then
I get
this,
that email daily.
this morning, and yeah, you're here, so. This morning, I got another email that said, I'm entitled to a, like, $2 million donation.
Wow.
So, donation.
well, now I know.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Now we
I've
know why
played
she-
that for 30 days.
We know why she's
Well, I keep getting
resigning.
texted every
Exactly,
time
right?
on Social
It's money
Security, it must
coming.
be me, they think we took it.
Do you know good where?
Thought to myself, geez, Wayne couldn't even chicken peck that out, that whole sentence. He didn't even know what to do with the keyboard. There's no way that email was from him. And it was like from my president dot my something.
Yeah.
The president.
Ooh, who knew?
President 087
President,
at
oh,
my.com.
boy, what they don't know, right? So, yes, I can announce I did not get an email. You may get a text, but you will not get it.
It would be nice if you would get email.
It doesn't serve that country that.
There's fiber optics everywhere in
Right.
Merced County now.
It gets cut off once in a while.
Yeah.
costly.
Especially south of Beulah.
Yeah, very costly when that
Federal,
happens. right?
Federal County 13, no fiber optics.
Okay,
The world falls off.
We got a quorum.
We're, man, where's Marvin? Marvin, get here.
Well,
Sorry, we got a quorum.
Yeah, we got quorum, so.
we're here. Oh, we're still waiting for Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie, anyway.
Is that clock right, actually? Or,
We were waiting for,
10:24, I got it.
oh,
what's his name, Charlie? Well, we can reconvene and we can, there ain't much left. I'm looking at this real quick, Carmen here. Hebron Fire.
We'll go over that.
Okay, we'll reconvene. We're gonna wait for our engineer to return.
And if he's not here by 10:30, we'll just go to the next thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we're gonna have to have that public hearing that, yeah,
Yep, so we need to make sure that's at 10:30.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Hebron Fire?
Yep.
What?
I put a letter on your guys' desk this morning that I received from the Newton Fire District, yesterday. I believe they were in here in January, February. And we had
It's
requested they
February.
come back during budget time, so they have now submitted their request for your consideration during the budget season.
Okay.
You guys correct me if I'm wrong, just for the member of the board here. They've been collecting money ardently, very hard, and they're down to like 20 or 25,000 that they have, is all that they need. So they're trying to catch that last little bit. And they brought it up to DOT at the DACO thing too. So just want you guys to know, they've been collecting money for years for this in preparation, and they've ran all their resources dry except for this last little bit to get them over the top.
And just to add to that too, previously, the Board of Commissioners has allocated to, fire districts and things like that. I know, Hazen Fire and Rescue came in probably in 13 or 14, and they had asked for 125,000, and the board had allocated them 25,000 over a period of 5 years, for their new fire and rescue truck. So it's not out of the norm for emergency services to be coming in and requesting funding from the county.
Okay, we will keep it, for consideration at budget time.
Budget file and
Did, Marvin, or did they request an amount by any chance?
They-
No. Okay.
I thought they did back.
They did
January.
back then it
In
was, but
January.
I don't wanna say what it was, cause I'll
Yeah.
misquote it.
Right.
I thought there was a specific amount they
I
asked
think it was
for.
25.
So,
Kind of.
Once again,
I'm
I
sure,
think they were looking, because Stark County was gonna match that.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say,
Right.
it was a start component to that.
Mhm.
yep.
okay, anything else on that?
Do they cover what about the southern third?
Well, they
or
do.
something?
Chunk down there, they cover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they cover
nine-
a pretty
9
decent.
townships down there.
9 townships, okay,
Yeah.
that's a decent amount of.
Yeah.
According to the notes from the January 20th commission meeting, they were short $30,000.
Okay,
Okay, we'll keep it in consideration at budget time. All right. Well, we ain't got a whole lot left except portfolios and our,
So we can start with 3 minutes.
we're gonna do 2016 in 3 minutes.
Yeah, but Mark's here, we can go back to 2016, Senate Bill 2016. Under road issues.
Oh, yeah.
And you had something else we were gonna talk about on the road issues?
Right.
yeah,
Let's talk about Senate Bill 2016. That's money that we got in 2016 in June. It's about 150, June what?
2019.
2019, yep. It was about 155 plus, 155,000. And what I have heard referenced for myself is that, well, we still have money left in that fund, we still have money left in that. However, I checked with Shanna, and she's gonna help correct me if I'm wrong, I checked with her this week, that money was deposited into county roads,
Unorganized.
unorganized roads. So when you see the amount that is in unorganized road, it includes the balance that's left. So there is no other fund that says that we have 82,000 left or 80,000 left on SB 2016. It's already part of the balance that's in unorganized roads.
Right, and it's 84,505.52 of what they have left, from that specific revenue.
Okay, I just wanted you guys aware of that.
Okay. Was that, supposed to be allocated for a specific use? Or-
That I'm checking on, I checked,
I believe it was for township roads, which were all unorganized, and that's what they have used it for. They've only used one vendor, Lakeview Services, to haul gravel.
it's all gravel.
Okay,
Yep.
They use 70,700 of it to haul gravel.
okay.
Okay, that's all I had on that, just,
Okay.
that's it. Oh, can I bring up the other road issue? We're still waiting for them to come back?
They're here.
I would like,
Yeah.
I would like a consideration that we put I'm gonna ask Dan, if you would please consider putting a notification in the paper of all the impacts on our county roads. Not part of the minutes, but just as a public notice to the public. And when Ken comes back to the table, he can tell us what dates we're gonna be impacted. So that, cause there's quite a few of them, and one of them is the turnabout up by 249, that's gonna be after the 4th of July. Okay, that's all I
Yeah,
got.
have
there.
you published anything on all the road work?
I had the story, the article on the roundabout
Okay.
in last week's paper.
Okay.
So I did a pretty extensive interview on that, but I haven't addressed, I mean, it would probably be best if they could just submit something to me, like a list
Sure.
of, they would know.
That would be perfect.
And then I can just publish that list.
You guys can come back up here.
Well, we gotta do a public
No,
hearing
we
at
have the
10:30.
public hearing at 10:30.
Oh, sorry.
We need a motion to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
Okay,
Would we
Do I
recess
have a
the
motion?
regular meeting?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
go ahead, make a motion.
I move to recess the regular meeting and open the, or do we do it in separate motions or two motions? Doing one, okay. Recess the regular meeting and open up the public hearing.
Second?
I'll second that.
I don't know if there's even I guess, is there discussion? Hearing none. Travis?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Wayne?
No, aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Jean, aye. It's one of those motions, I don't know if there is discussion. Okay,
Okay, North Dakota law requires the assessor's office to uniformly and fairly value all parcels of land and buildings for tax purposes. Golden Valley has Darlene Brecht as their data collector. Hazen has Monty Earhart as theirs. He will be getting certified. Pick City, Stanton, and Zapp have Betty Jean Basance as their data collector. Ryan Oberg is the Beulah assessor. He is certified. And Beulah has recently hired a Heidi Hamilton, and she will be getting certified. Our office is responsible for putting the values on the rural properties along with certifying the cities with data collectors. And the State Board of Equalization reviews all sales within the county and analyzes those sales against the assessed value on the property. They in turn send us a report showing what our percentage is, so we know what we need to do in order to be in compliance. And the state requires us to be between 90 and 100% of market value. And then I had given you all the sheet with showing what the difference between 20 and 21, where it shows the total county went up 5,906,908. And I don't know if you want me to read off all those the sales ratios and what we did with them, or?
Can you tell me what it means?
Okay, so like when I said that the state analyzes, we have to turn every sale into the state. And then we run these reports, and Beulah's sales ratio was at 98.27, so we reduced them to 95.83. That's why you see that decrease up on the top with their value went down $5 million in the city of Beulah. And that's how the rest of them, like Hazen, we stayed, but they had a bunch of exempts that were missed, that's why theirs went down. Stanton's sales ratio was high, so we had to lower their values to from 104.04 to 96.88. Zapp's sales was 92.3, so we left them. Pick Cities was low, we raised them 9%. And Golden Valley was good at 94.55. So this basically just means we need to get where we need to get to be in compliance with the state, and that affects our values.
And you didn't change any that the city's approved? It basically coincides with what
Right.
the city's reported? Okay. And, so how do we go from this value to the taxable value? Or is-
Taxable value is times .50, and then .10 for real estate and .09 for real estate, and then .10 for, did you want them totals too?
No,
Oh.
I'm just wondering how we, cause when
'Cause
you
you
look
take
at a
the-
mill
you take-
levy, you see a taxable value, say
You
for
take the
Buell's
true
like
and
10
full
million.
times 50% times 10% for commercial and ag, and times 9% for residential.
Okay, so it's just a formula.
I can start giving them to you if you, along with this. It's all in the same report. So I'll do that next year.
Thank you, that'd be nice.
Yeah, cause I mean,
See
when we
where
look
I
at.
don't go by taxable.
Yeah, but when we look at our mill levies, you
Right,
know,
and I can
we
get
have our
that to you.
amounts in them, so.
I can get that to you after the meeting too.
Okay.
Okay,
That's all I have.
do we have people who want to speak on behalf of this?
Bill Twite.
Pardon?
Bill Twite was nodding his head.
Okay, how many more? So I wanna know if we gotta do a limit here or of time, okay?
There's no limit.
Go, anybody, Bill? You have a comment? We want you to come up to the mic. What I was referring to, if we have, and of course, we don't have 50 people in here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, and they all wanna speak for 10 minutes, no, we're not gonna allow that.
Thank you, commissioners, for hearing me. I'm here actually to protest the tax on my particular property, so I don't know if that's where you're at on the agenda, Mr. Chairman?
Yep.
Okay. So with that, excuse me just a minute. I've got a copy of a letter that we worked with in 2017, or 2019, excuse me. When I came in here, I've got access issues on my property at Hazen Bay. I have to access it through the core. Most of the, I'm dependent on the core road. And I've worked with the previous commission trying to gain further access. My access was cut off under the Obama administration. I've got a renewable easement for 2024. And the Corps had made a decision that they would not renew my easement. So I've got a house sitting on top of the hill at Hazen Bay without legal access to it. The concern is that the Corps would not issue to private property from recreational. I had Dick Sorensen, whom most of you know, as a appraiser, look at that, and he simply said, without access, your property has no value. I came to this group, Vanguard, and we spoke in 2019, June at that time. They assessed it, they dropped my value. Somewhere in 2020, one of the commissioners decided that that wasn't right, so he made a motion to take me back to full value. Currently, the suggestion under that ruling is that my property increased by $91,000. And again, I go back to Dick Sorensen's statement, it has no value without access. April, I paid the taxes for 2020. Because of being in the legislature, I missed the time period. I gladly paid the penalty for missing it, but I still protest. To raise my tax under this term is not right. I've worked with the state's attorney and with the Hazen Park Board, who does control access up there. The Corps suggested if the county adapted what's known as Walleye Bay Road, that they would no longer have any reason to restrict my access. That work has been delayed, and I don't know if it's laying on somebody's desk or what, but there's no progress been made. We met a couple times in 2019 and in 2020, but it's gone totally silent now between the park board and the county commission making decisions. So I'm here to say we need to take a look at this again. I appreciate your concerns. Any questions?
Yes, sir. What's your, it's very specific questions, so you don't have to answer these if you don't want to, but presently, what's it presently valued at for taxes?
Okay, give me just a minute. Did I lay it on the desk here?
453,420.
Okay.
Say that again?
453,420.
Okay, so it's presently valued at $453,420.
Taxable value.
Taxable.
True and full.
True and full.
But I need to add that, 10,750 of that increase was because all the lake properties went up and ag went up 2%. So 10,750 of that is because of that, and the 80,570 is because of the obsolescence I removed because of the board's motion last year.
Okay,
What was that last number?
80,570.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
so Bill,
Yes, sir.
what, and this might be out of line, I don't know if it is or not, I'm just gonna throw it on the table. What would be your proposed taxable value, fair value? What do you want it reduced to?
Other than zero.
Other than zero would be great, but I guess I was content with the agreement that we reached when Vanguard looked at it, made the recommendation to this board. And I will continue to pay it that.
What is that number? Do you have that number?
361, was it?
Well, it was, but you can't get away from the lake increase in
Right.
ag.
We can,
What was it previously, though?
The obsolescence was 80,570, so you'd have to take that off of the,
then we'd have to add back the 10,750.
well, just take off 80,570 from the 453 and it'll give you the,
The adjustment was at 8, right?
So
Yeah.
take off 70.
No.
the 80,570 is the obsolescence that I removed because of the motion the board made last year.
Okay, but
So
that
that's-
doesn't include, though, the
That doesn't include,
1075,
No.
right? Right?
91,000 was the number you reported as quotes.
yeah,
All right, if I subtract 8570, it comes out to 372,850, then we should add back on the lake deal of 10,750, is that correct, Cindy? No?
I would have just taken the 450.
20 minus 80,570.
But she said there was a valuation increase. 'cause
But
of the
that's
lake.
already in that.
That's
450.
included in that 4.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I thought that just occurred.
If I may, though, you're talking about a valuation increase because I'm at the lake. Dick Sorensen's letter says I have no value without access.
Yeah, but you're still at the lake, so there's, either way.
I disagree with that as well, so.
Okay, so, I guess, fellow commissioners, I'm not prepared to act on this today, it's just information that I got, and I would like to have some time to have some more consideration.
Do we have time?
I was saying, is there a timeline on this, Cindy?
Well, how does that work? I think legally you either have to accept these values or we have to recess every day? Or how does that work?
I think she's right on that one.
You have to recess and come back every day. This has to be done before our next meeting, so
Oh, really?
according to the state. So you'd either have to accept these valuation the way it is, and he can file an abatement or go to the state, or,
Or they make a motion to change his specific value.
yeah, they can change it.
But it has to be done today.
Okay,
I mean, unless you guys want to.
Well, you guys can come back every day.
I've been
No,
looking,
thank
I'd
you.
like to do that, but I don't have time.
Too fast. Other commissioners?
What would it take to get legal access? Or permanent access?
Well, and he's right, we met, there's multiple agencies and things involved with this, and so Park Board won't take it outright. They would agree to continue maintenance as they've been doing it through a separate agreement with us. Corps will give us the easement, so it's kind of a circular sort of deal, including then private access for his parcel. Part of the discussion came up, and the concern was, things have been going great, but in the event he sells it or whatnot, we end up with a new landowner, we have, potentially have a problem there. And so everybody is just, I guess you could say, leery about assuming this, because that's extra road for us to maintain, at county spec and all that kind of stuff, and the potential cost is huge. And it essentially just kind of fizzled, because we kind of came to a stalemate about where we're gonna go. I had drafted a long agreement to that effect, and I don't know what the solution really is. So certainly something, discussions could resume. At that point, we had Mr. Berger from the board in those meetings. So it's certainly something that could be taken up again, but we essentially reached an impasse.
Could we adopt this information from Cindy and deal with his concern separately?
The access one
Yep.
is completely separate, right?
Yep.
Yep,
But the
So-
monies
But the
have to
valuation,
be with this, right?
Right.
So we got two subjects. One is deal with your valuation, the other one is the change.
right. Yeah, because what they're saying is it was approved last year with Vanguard's blessing, and it would have been at that 80 mark, right?
yeah, it would have been at the lower one. But then the board last year, I didn't change the valuation. You guys made the previous board made a motion that
Because
I
it
had
had
to.
been resolved and was final, and then it came back up, and then it was taken off. And so initially was that 80 number you're talking about was approved last year,
In 19, yeah.
or, yeah.
So 2 years ago?
But what,
For tax season?
I kinda got lost in the access to the property. What is the major hangup there?
Us
If
not
the-
adopting the road from the Corps.
Right.
We have to accept the easement that the Corps wants to give us.
And responsibility for it, and then an underlying agreement with Hazen Park and Rec, but ultimately it goes back to us.
And then he would just get his access to his property when we own the road.
Who maintains that road right now?
Well, it's kind of, yeah, Bill,
I think
I think Ken said
in
they-
response to that, the county has done well. They're in there 2, 3, 4 times a year. And that's all that the Corps asks, is that you continue the maintenance that you're doing now. The park board at Hazen wanted a little bit more, and that's, I think, the stalemate. And yes, I blade it when it gets rough and out of order. I keep the snow off it in the wintertime and so on and so forth. But the county needs to be commended for the part that they've done thus far.
Essentially, Bill, it's just a really small strip of land, really, given the complication that it's presented. It's really just a small section from the road to his property. So, you know, the whole rest of it all the way out is what we would be assuming.
And so previously, you were given private rights to be on there from the Corps, but now the Corps is saying, no, we're not gonna renew that for you.
That's
Right,
correct.
right?
What I did when I built up there and rezoned the property is I got a 25-year access agreement, and agreeable with the Corps that would be renewable as long as I continue to be a good neighbor. No issues contended. Well, during, like I said, that changed during the Obama administration. They didn't want any private access. And as Ms. Binder said, my original access was probably 5 feet that I had to go on core property and then get onto their road and access out. So I've got basically about a half mile of that road that I travel on to get to my property. And I put a culvert in initially, and when they rebuilt Walleye Bay Road several years ago, that distance became around 50 feet to access that road from my property. But again, I think that the entire county, all the residents in the county benefit by the maintenance on Walleye Bay Road that's done there. Yeah, it's not just for Bill Twite. And so I would behoove this commission to consider moving forward and adapting that road. Really not asking you to do any more than you're currently doing right now. But in the meantime, my property is up for sale. It got listed a month ago. I've reached the age where I can't maintain the acreage that are there. Someone came by and asked to list it. I don't know what the value is gonna be, but now you're basing my property on somebody else's value, which is what the law requires, but it doesn't have value without access. And that's, in one person that looked at it, the access was the reason they backed away, so. We'll find out what the value is next year, maybe. But in the meantime, it's zero.
And it's is this yours that's listed for 1.1 million?
That's correct. And that was the choice of the realtor.
Right, but she had to come up with that value somewhere, so she must not think the access road is an issue.
Well, it may or may
Did you
not be.
tell, or you just?
She knows about the access, and she said, we'll deal with that, so. And anybody that's looked at it, I've had to tell them what the access situation is.
Yeah, it's, you know, I sympathize with the access, but, I don't mean to sound real crass, but I don't know if that's a issue of ours, so to speak. We need to just look at, you know, the value of the property, and I do agree that access could affect the value. So it's a tough one for me
Well, and
to
when
think about.
When I had talked to Vanguard after the motion, they had suggested you get a cost to cure if you'd have to make a road somewhere else.
The only other access would be off, and I forget the county road that runs north of Tim Miller's place there.
Comes
across private property all the way across there. Very hilly terrain, and I didn't get anything in writing, but the current quote on doing something like that was about $2 million without purchasing property.
And I know, I understand that, but once again, I don't mean to sound, it's gonna sound rude, but if, you know, you buy a piece of property in the middle of nowhere and it'll be up to you to get a road built to it. It's not the county's responsibility to get you a road to your property. But what we're dealing with here is the value of this property, the taxable value, and that's what we gotta look at. And so we have to look at considering that. And that's.
Mr. Chairman, the process is too that if you guys leave it the way it is, he can go to the state in August and they could overturn your decision if, you know what I mean? So it's not done here. He does have the ability to go to the state and protest it too.
In response to Chairman Wolf's comments, again, in 20 years ago when I built out there, I went through the county, I went through for zoning, I went through the Corps, and I
Okay.
went through Hazen Park Board, and of course, the county zoning properly to access my property with establishing a road and a driveway. And that was okay at that point in time with the renewable access agreement with the Corps of Engineers. So I did establish a road and I did establish access.
Right, now but my understanding is the Corps is changing the rules on you now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Which is not uncommon.
All right.
No.
For reference, it's not
Yeah.
uncommon.
So all I'm asking is
To consider.
leave it like
Okay.
it was in 2019 when we left this meeting.
Okay.
And we will see what happens with this. But I'm, again, here appealing to you to continue to negotiate with Hazen Park Board to take over that road.
Okay.
For myself and for voters' access and whatever.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to have any? No? Okay,
How you do have to adopt or accept something today.
Mhm.
That's what she says is true.
Well,
right here.
well, for discussion, I'll put this out there. I move that we adopt the valuations presented by our land use administrator today.
is that a motion?
Yes?
Yep. I'll second that.
And Mr. Chair, or what was that amount exactly?
Oh, the
Yeah. We move to accept as presented.
Got it.
Adopt the valuations as presented by the tax director.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Hey, no more, comments from the public? Marvin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Wayne?
Oh, would I?
Liza?
Aye.
Gene will vote aye.
Oh, I know what I'm voting on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to close the public hearing and return to our regularly scheduled meeting.
Do I have a second to that?
To the state.
Second.
Is that Wayne, Marvin?
Yes.
Okay. You, I wasn't sure where. Okay, any, Travis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Wayne?
I'll vote aye.
Gene, aye. Okay, we're back in regular session. Do we wanna have Carmen?
You ready?
Carmen doesn't have,
Or you want
she's just gonna give us an update.
Yeah.
Do we have to wait till exactly?
But we still got the bid
We
letting.
got Charlie.
We got Charlie.
We could bring Charlie
Oh,
back.
is he ready?
Yep.
I
he's
hope
ready.
so.
Yeah.
It's been patiently waiting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He has been.
Come on up here.
Constance Marks. I know how they moved it.
Try to make it short and sweet.
Born yesterday.
Couple days ago.
Might be, yeah. Slow start. I know when the dollars.
Okay, after further review.
Right on the spot.
Yeah, so, check the numbers, from the bidders. The apparent low bidder, Aztec, their numbers did shake out with one discrepancy, which appears to be a mathematical or clerical error in their line item on the alternate bid, regarding item 762, code 113, epoxy pavement markings 4-inch line. I think they transversed their unit price because when you compare it to their base bid, the numbers shake out. And when I use their base bid number, it matches their extended price, which jives with their actual bid, so I can get clarification from the contractor on that prior to acceptance. But it would be my recommendation that we move forward with Aztec, based on the numbers that were presented today. And if I may do so, I guess I would also suggest allowing, Interstate Engineering to consider a bid negotiation with Aztec in regard to the alternate bid, understanding our budget of $270,000 for this work. The alternate bid, as we discussed earlier, included County Road 26 and Hazen Bay. Ken and I discussed, we thought maybe if we eliminate Hazen Bay from that alternate, if Aztec would be open to that and still continue forward with the work on County Road 26. At which, based on rough estimation, again, I would need to verify this with the contractor, we would come in roughly right around the $293,000 mark, which is pretty close to our budget. And considering the unit pricing received on this, I think that would be a wise decision to consider for this year's construction efforts. We could bid this same work next year and potentially spend double the amount of money on it just to get it done. So that's my recommendation, and if the commission allows, I will begin that negotiation process with Aztec if they so choose to move forward with them.
So
Question, what's our risk factor, that if we accept Aztec's bid today, that they deny your negotiation for Hazen Bay and they want it included?
From my experience, it's pretty low. I mean, typically, most contractors are open to accepting more work, even if it's a partial amount of an alternate. That's simply from my experience. So I don't feel that there's a real risk with that, no.
How soon after?
Jessica hadn't left.
Pardon?
If we change the alternate with one contractor, do we have to do that with all of them?
No,
No.
we do not.
No,
Okay.
because we
We're not.
already have their unit price for everything, that, they've submitted their bids with their unit price, so
Right.
Charlie's getting these
It's already
numbers
broken down.
from, yeah, from how they have it broken down, so the other ones are still higher,
Right.
even if we only picked one
Okay.
road out of their alternate bid.
And don't you generally like to do chip seal a year later after you put a new road?
I do.
Is that
I
true?
know a lot of engineers are different. There's different arguing factors with that. A lot of times you see on DOT projects, they will chip seal the same year, but that's simply due to funding opportunities, more than anything. Allowing the pavement to sit for a year or two does allow for more oxidation to occur with the mat. And that helps with chip retention from my experience, but
Okay.
that's just my, that's my professional opinion on that, so.
That was gonna be my question. How long we have with the Hazen Bay Road? Okay. Did you get all that written down?
We haven't decided anything yet or motioned anything yet.
She got zero.
I was gonna say, if someone wants to say so moved, that, you have it?
Yeah, so I guess the suggestion would be to accept, my suggestion to the commission would be to accept the bid from Aztec, who of course is the apparent low bidder, and the amount of, base bid amount of $101,629.36, and then the alternate, would be negotiated to eliminate the chip sealing, efforts on Hazen Bay Road and focus strictly on County Road 26.
26.
Would you bring that back to us then, Charlie, and let us know?
Yes. Yep, I would.
You talked about kicking the can down the road, here we go. Here I go. What happens if we wait one meeting till we'd have those numbers from that?
We have every right to do that. And yes, we would have the numbers by then. Yep.
Would be a firm.
Correct. Yep.
If we awarded today and accept it, we'd be for sure accepting our base bid.
Correct.
We wouldn't be, the rest of his motion or the rest of his suggestion was just to
He could
get
bring
into
that-
negotiation
He could
On the
bring that
alternate.
back.
on the alternate by Brock and the Hazen Bay chips.
Yeah, they can absolutely accept the base bid today. There's nothing wrong with that, and then we can present the alternate at the next
But you're
meeting.
gonna have to give them permission to negotiate.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That would be
Yes.
two different motions.
Or one motion.
It could be in one motion, but it just has to
Yeah.
include
We
both,
can have
both.
a motion to
portions.
accept Aztec's base bid.
You ready for Travis?
I can do
Pardon?
it.
Okay,
Of the
No, 101.
101,629.36 is Aztec's base bid. Yep,
Yeah, 36, yeah.
Travis is ready.
and to accept the
To allow negotiation.
To allow, okay. On the alternate bid excluding the Hazen Bay Road.
Is that what the motion you want me to make?
You can make the motion any way you want. I'm just saying this so that I understand what the motion may be.
Okay. I move to accept the bid from Aztec for the base bid, and allow, Interstate Engineering to negotiate with them on the alternate portion, so we get it more closely to our budgeted amount.
Okay, do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Mark.
No, you're
Gotta get
fine.
in my right area here. Okay, Travis, Liza. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Travis?
Aye.
Eliza?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Jean, aye.
We're great, we're good.
Okay, anything else on roads?
I don't have anything to you.
Okay. Public hearing. Have I missed anything so far that we need to go back on? Not that I see. Yep, Carmen.
Carmen.
Carmen, can you address us on our,
Yes, okay. So I emailed out the fire chiefs last week. We allowed campfires, charcoal grills for the weekend. And I told them about this. What I'm asking today is take our stage 2 back down to our stage 1 that's connected to that fire danger rating map.
okay?
And then, from my sources, you know, we have green up, but we still have the undergrowth fine, but with the green up, it's not gonna allow those fires, if we get a fire, not to get, you know, that crazy on us. So, my feedback from the chiefs and the law enforcement, they feel comfortable at this time going back down to stage 1. But let's say we're getting 90s, 100s, whatever, and it gets brown again, then we'll just have to take it back.
Yeah, we'll just have to let the
Yeah.
public know that right now we'll reduce it down to a stage 1.
Yes.
But it could be, in a week from now, we could be,
It could be, and then
Moving it
that's
back up.
where I think I'd work with Jean again and we could just zip it up again, but
right.
I think for now, we need to kind of let them, because it's so restrictive and they got this green up that we've got. So I've actually got, okay, this is the one, I don't know.
Can you reiterate what a stage 1 would be so the community can know again
I
what a
did
stage
make
1?
a copy.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Put it on our Facebook page too.
That would be great, cause I get a lot of calls on this.
Yeah, a lot of
I'll
calls.
give you a motion, and then this is the one we want to get
I'm glad I'm
signed.
not the only one.
This is the one we gotta get signed.
I said call Travis.
This is the new,
number.
Travis is way better at this.
this would be the new one?
This is the new one. This
Okay.
is the stage 1.
Ask him
Okay.
if it's Travis, yes.
Stage 1 restrictions, exemptions.
That's fine.
So then I need a motion for the county to move their fire restriction down to a stage 1.
Special for me.
Okay, can I have,
Well, because you wanna look at the.
can I have a
The thing
motion?
is, the motion you're to go in is, or whoever wants to make the motion, this is how you wanna say it. So let's-
Oh.
I got a copy.
I got it.
So that lets us know how to,
I got it.
Would you like?
I can do that. Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna ask for a
He
motion.
usually does that.
Okay, do we have a motion to change our fire ban status?
Mr. Commissioner, I would like to make a motion to rescind the Mercer County Stage 2 burn ban that was put into effect on March 17, 2021, and approve the updated proclamation that states a Stage 1 burn ban will be in effect whenever the fire danger rating is high, very high, extreme, or red flag warning has been issued for Mercer County. And I'll give that to Shannon.
Do I have a second to that motion?
Oh, you got it?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Marvin?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Liza?
aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Jean, aye.
Great.
Thank you.
So what I'm gonna do then, I'll call the paper to get it started in there, we'll keep it in the paper. And then I'll get you a copy of the or can you just scan it? You can just scan email it. Thank you.
Carmen, one thing before you leave. I have had questions already regarding fireworks, and I've told them that it is way too early to make a decision on that.
And right now, I think with going
told them if we had rain in the next 3 weeks, yes, possibly,
But
if
I'm
not.
thinking if the decision's gonna be made, it's gotta be made by the 16th.
For our
Correct.
next meeting.
And then that way, it'll give people a chance to, know whether they can buy or should walk. So, okay, 16th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen. I'm looking for the next agenda item. I had it here. No, we got,
Nope.
oh, 11, okay,
Yeah, that's that time.
gotcha. Portfolio updates. Start with Wayne.
Oh, I don't have much. I just, like I said, visited with Jim here this morning, and, like I said, one of our main valves was, they dug down and the main meter fell apart, his original meter. So they changed out that valve. That valve wouldn't, and that bill just came through here just a bit ago. And, so the other part is down on that, the building, for instance, on Reedemans and stuff, had some whiteware, and they hauled that all out and got that out of here. The other, or one more change is the asbestos people asked if they could come a week later, and we didn't see no issue with that, and we said, yeah, we're fine with that. So, I guess that, and, Jim just informed me today, I believe social service, I don't know if you got a notice, but, Tuesday and Wednesday, they plan on being in, 2 people. And we'll run that until, I guess, the building's sold, so, well, until the building's sold, so that's the the earliest I found out today about that. So I think that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Okay. Liza?
Well, we just had Carmen in, who spoke about the burn ban, and then, I do know that Shanna has a new employee, or will have a new employee in her office. I'm not sure when she starts. Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
And, I was unable to make the ambulance board meeting, because I was on vacation, so that's all I have.
Mine's even gonna be shorter, so, okay, Travis?
Vacations.
Water Resource Board will meet again next Thursday for their typical monthly meeting. The library will meet on the 28th, last Monday of June. And as far as the fair goes, they're still planning on having the fair and everything. Seems like I talked to Vern Mache several times a week, so he's keeping me pretty well updated on that. But everything's going forward, and they're hoping for a banner fair. That's all I got.
Okay, Marvin?
Very briefly, I met with Ken yesterday, and we've been meeting pretty often. We just very briefly went over some of the budget concerns. And one thing that I wanted, that we're both working on, is that we have some COVID money, 81,000, that needs to be used by the end of 2024, and there's some guidelines and rules to do that. And we want to get our projects in line so we take advantage of that. And so we're working on that. And that's all I have. Oh, he mentioned there's some possible bridge expenses coming up, and he's gonna also look at that, which our COVID money would work for. That's it.
Okay, I don't have much. I know our state's attorney's, not gonna be with us much longer, so we're just looking at our possible options, depending on our applications and, how many applications we do get. Right now, we've only got one. And then we need to just review that, and I guess I'm working with Shanna and our current state's attorney as to what our future options will be for a state's attorney, because we have to have a state's attorney. So we'll cover that as we move along here. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
And we're having a special meeting for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
On the, is it the 10th?
At 9 AM.
10th of July.
June, 10th of June at 9 a.m.
10 for June?
Yeah,
Yep.
next Thursday.
Oh,
Scheduled
boy.
that for the last meeting. What if there's no applicants?
We'll deal with it on the 10th.
Yep,
9 o'clock?
we'll have more answers on,
You gonna be able to help us that day?
we'll have,
Figure out what to do if we don't.
yeah, we'll have answers by then as to our options.
Hopefully. Better-
Yeah,
More
well-
information regardless.
We will have our options available at that time.
There now.
What options we have for us as a county. Okay. Well, it's at 11:15. We have on the agenda illegal immigration and gun sanctuary, county. Once again, in my pile of paperwork, I have that somewhere.
It's very bold.
The whereas, right here.
There you got it. That's it.
And then we have the recommendation from our state's attorney. Where do I have that?
Well, you got that. Yeah, I hadn't. You can let everybody speak first.
Anyway, let's just get the discussion started. How does the rest of the commission feel? What should we do?
Is there somebody that wants to be a spokesperson for this, and so we can address questions too?
Oh, Diane Anderson, Loyal Cargis, and Darlene Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The names are
Sorry.
there. Yep.
Yeah. Whoever wants to, but we'll start with there. Please introduce yourself for the record, so.
Okay, I don't know how far you want me to introduce myself, but my name is Diane Anderson.
That'll work.
My husband and I own Hazen Hardware Hank, and we've been familiarized with a lot of concerned citizens regarding this illegal immigration, so, and the gun sanctuary issue. Just wanted to say that we've got a petition, which I think you maybe all have a copy of the brief intro to that petition. And we just want to present it. Got a lot of signature pages here for you to consider regarding protecting this county from illegal immigration and the negative effects we believe this could mean for our community. We strongly believe that with the unprecedented number of illegal immigrants crossing our southern border, it is imperative that we protect our infrastructure, including law enforcement, teachers, schools, foster care programs, and our tax dollars. It is understood that many came to North Dakota as refugees in the past during a time where there was a small percentage coming to North Dakota, and they are now our fellow North Dakotans and Americans, having completed the process legally. We would like to see an agreement in place whereby residents are notified publicly if any attempt at placing these illegal refugees is made in our county. We've spoken to Sheriff Dan Zeisen regarding our concerns and have gotten his response and his signature on this petition. And additionally, we have created a proposed resolution for this board's consideration, which we believe would protect this county regarding the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. So, I don't know who gets possession of these petition pages, but I'm ready to hand those over.
Our auditor, please.
And then do you have a copy of the proposed resolution that we? Okay.
At the risk of sounding uninformed and uneducated, I'm gonna ask some questions, okay? You made a statement that this, the very last thing that you said that you believe that this would protect our county from, can you repeat what you
What a
said?
negative effects.
I'm gonna ask, how would this resolution do that?
Well, number one, if we, as citizens, were to be notified that illegal refugees, immigrants, however you want it, they want to phrase it, are being placed in our communities, we, could then take things a step further to protect those we love.
Don't we already have North Dakota, I'm just gonna ask questions so I get this answered. Don't we already have North Dakota laws that will help us to that effect?
Regarding the Second Amendment, but not regarding illegal immigration, because they are undercover bringing them in.
So they can transfer them to our state and our state wouldn't have any
Well, I'm not,
say about.
you
and
would
what-
think that our state would have a say, but,
I'm asking, to me, it's
Yeah.
obvious that you think that we would, but
Right.
I don't know that.
yeah, I think that that's why, people are, concerned now is because it appears that laws are in place to protect us from that. And yet they hear news reports of, illegal immigrants being housed in our state.
And how would the county signing this resolution enforce that? The sheriff already can be notified if these guys are coming in, and he can take legal action or whatever. So my question is, how is the county adapting this resolution going to help with that?
Maybe just with a nail in the board there of support.
I understand the phrase, and that's a,
Loyal, do you want to add to this?
no, Loyal, if you want to talk, please sit at the table with the mic if you would. The public sees our meetings and they can't hear from the back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Loyal Cargus here. So in regards to that question, if they're gonna be housed by, it'll be by an entity of some kind, like a corporation. And the man camps, that were, here for the oil workers, so to speak, and, several years back during the boom with, man camps building the power plants. So it's those type of entities and facilities that I think would be, first of all, a suspicion to me, because they're trying to turn those things into some way to cash flow, I suppose. And then, are they vetted? You know, what's their responsibility or guideline? So, legal immigrants, yeah. Illegal immigrants, different. And so, speaking with Sheriff Dean, he said that he stopped one, like, it was quite a while ago, I can't remember what the influx was at that time, for Mercer County to stop a man camp situation where they weren't vetted, so to speak, you know, because it was of the pressure due to, just say, the legal system, as you know, the county sheriff's department. So it's on those guidelines that I think it's validated, you know, just from that, you know, how are we gonna prevent or regulate or keep people abreast of what the potential could be. Granted, right now, there's not a problem, but, you know, our southern states are suffering from that influx, and they don't seem to be getting any help. And not to mention that if they're making it this far north, they're getting a plane ticket, they're getting credit cards, and they're not vetted. They're illegal.
If I can interrupt here too, Sheriff Dan Seitzen also told us that were anybody who's illegal to come into our community and seek housing, if that tenant, if the landowner, whoever's doing the rental on whatever property they're pursuing, doesn't ask them for identification, doesn't ask them for any proof of their legality, they're not required to. So they've got the money, they've got Visa cards that are being filled, they can take up residency, and as long as they pay that landowner their monthly rent or whatever their agreement is, they haven't committed a crime, and so they're free to live amongst us.
So I'm gonna ask the same question again. How would this resolution enforce those homeowners or renters to ask that question?
Well, I suppose that wording is not included in this
I'm
resolution.
not sure, I'm not,
And I don't know that the one thing, this board doesn't have the authority to enact laws, number one.
Exactly.
But number two, going back to landlord-tenant rights, I don't know that you can do that.
exactly, so.
Yeah, it's a discriminatory practice, I
So
would think.
my question is where I'm going is, what problem is this resolution going to resolve? And that's where I keep asking these questions. Loyal, and I'm not trying to be negative, but I want to ask the questions. you gotta help me out. Sometimes I don't know all the, what do you mean by vetted? You use that term several times, so describe your definition of that, so I understand what you're talking about.
So there's immigrants coming in that are coming for the right reason,
Mhm.
okay? Because I think our ancestors are a testimony to that.
Yep.
So the ones that, we want the ones that want to be here for the right reasons. And they're the ones that are willing to go through the protocol or the process that it takes to become what I call vetted or rightly intended. Then there's the ones that, I'm not up on it, but the words that I come to my mind are the MS-13 gangs that are controversial at best, all right? I don't know, how do you, they're a problem. And so, I guess it's public awareness. It's trying to do something to help bring awareness. And as far as a resolution, or it's a suggestion, I get it if we can't mandate or force a law or pass a law, but at the same time, it's a voice. We're concerned because we see it happening in other parts of the country. And is it a huge potential here? Maybe not, but if it could be, and so it's like, what do we do? So part of our question is, I think we're all on the same page as far as, wanting to protect our communities, getting ahead of the ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and so what is we see concerns. Does everybody see the concerns?
And to your question, sir, maybe this proposed resolution won't do anything to protect any of us, but at least like Loyal's saying, our voice is there to express that we are concerned about this and to get your take on.
Who would, okay, who would this resolution be given to?
It would just be part of the, are you Darlene?
Yes.
Did you have a comment or some input?
Currently, there's a bill, it's House Bill 1020, and it has a section, the intent of Section 20. Currently, the only communities of Fargo, Grand Forks, and Bismarck are sites that have had refugees resettle in North Dakota. There are a number of community supports to ensure that refugees are successful. The intent of Section 20 was to include 2 more communities to consider the refugee settlement. There have been employers and communities that have raised interest because of the money. And I do think there's a desire to not put the responsibility on the 3 communities, current communities. They want 2 more. And that's under House Bill 1012, Section 20. I also have a letter.
So they're looking for some more communities?
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't want our community to be one of
I
them.
understand that. I'm just, okay.
When you say refugees, are these illegal immigrants?
They're not identified.
They're not identified.
Okay. Well, I
The-
guess, go ahead.
Yeah, I would, I don't wanna, I'm sort of in agreement with our state's attorney too, is that we can't necessarily pass law and let's just say, and I may be way off base here, but if, the US, what do you call it again, State Department were to decide to do something, I don't know what we could do as a county to even stop it.
As Mercer County, we can say we absolutely won't take them. We have no place to house them. We have no way to feed them. It's gonna up our taxes. I have a letter with a lot of insight to read to you.
Okay, so would this resolution just be like a flag, like a red flag or yellow flag for them to say, oh, well, we don't want to address it in Mercer County? Or are you saying this would put we could totally stop it?
We could stop it. It's our county.
Can I interject here? Resolutions, typically what I've seen in the past is a community would make a resolution that we support shopping local, or we support something, you name it. As far as, like it's been mentioned, this entity can't make laws. I don't think any of us are opposed to allowing people that are legally trying to be here, things like that. I mean, I support the Second Amendment. I'm a Class 1 weapons holder. I've gone through all the classes, things like that. So I have several friends that are from other countries that have come here doing the legal process and are great citizens. I also know of other situations where people have been deported because they didn't come properly. So as far as the resolution, I mean, I have no problem supporting the resolution. But as some of the questions are, is how do we enforce this? It's not necessarily enforcing, it's just that we are showing support for this. It'll be recorded. Where it goes from there, I can't speak on that.
To that end, the resolution that's presented, I have major trouble with, from a legal perspective. I'm here to give my legal opinion, that's my job. There's major problems in some of the verbiage and whatnot. I understand that it's a exact replica of some of the other counties that have passed the same thing. But across the board, I have problems with it. For one, unconstitutional is determined by the courts, period. Not by us, not by me personally, those are court determinations. And so referencing unconstitutional in there is a problem. There's so many legal implications here. We have the supremacy clause, which puts federal law above state law above us. We can't enact any kind of law that way. So to that end, Governor Burgum has adopted a proclamation similar of a sanctuary nature that was back on April. And so let me see, April 26th. So to the extent this board is acknowledging its support of what Governor Burgum did, which would be a state law that we're subject to, I would propose adopting a resolution that simply references that proclamation and states that we're in agreement with it, rather than the other resolution as presented. And there's multiple reasons that I have issue. But if the board, and I agree with you, Travis, that this board can send a signal, but we can't do much more than that. And so to that extent, sending the signal that we're in agreement with Governor Burgum is a good one, but enacting things just for a feel-good measure typically is gonna backfire. That almost always happens. And so if that is something the board would like to do, I've got copies, I can pass that out. But the resolution as presented, it won't stand up. It doesn't have any teeth for us to do anything with it. And it would concern me going forward. There's different legal liabilities. I would be concerned that if we're saying our officials are not going to follow things that are unconstitutional, well, we don't get to decide that. So down the road, when decisions are made, it could be deemed our liability for not doing those things. So that's a huge flag. Not to mention the restrictions on firearms. The Second Amendment is not entirely absolute. There's been restrictions upheld throughout. You mentioned your concealed carry permit. The restrictions on having unfit, mentally ill, those sorts of things that can't have those background checks. So it isn't an entirely unlimited right. It has been upheld to have certain restrictions. So all of those things make this a much more complicated issue than just passing a feel-good resolution to that effect. Now, with that said, everybody's in support, though, of the notion, and so that's why I would propose, if you're inclined to do something, it'll be along this line. So.
And that is your opinion.
That is my legal opinion.
And we do not have to necessarily agree with it, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, just a
I
clarification.
can only talk, you guys are the action.
Hey, Jessica, let me ask you, you made one, towards the very end of your information there, you said, I forgot what my question
I
was.
said a lot, so I know.
It
Sorry.
was,
She was referencing Second Amendment.
Yeah, I know that. That part of it, I agree with, okay, forget my question here, but I'm gonna agree with Jessica here on this completely. One of the questions I wrote down, who determines the details of the rights of the Second Amendment? And she referred to that very specifically. There are some details, and we don't make laws, so. Oh, you said that it appears that we are in agreement. I guess, my question was, what were you referring to?
Just generally speaking, that I think.
I'm not in agreement, put it that way.
Okay, I say that in a sense of we're North Dakota and we like our right to
Oh.
bear arms.
Okay, I thought you were
think we
referring.
can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And I think the general concept is what I'm saying.
Okay,
We get down into the specifics and nuts and bolts and everybody's gonna start going their own way. But I think the Second Amendment in North Dakota, I think we can
Okay.
say.
okay, I thought you were referring to this room as a whole was in agreement.
No,
And
I
just
just
in-
meant general.
Thank you for clarifying.
And just, I think majority of people will agree with your position. And I know I'm not in disagreement with it either, but I do agree with like what our state's attorney is saying is passing something like this could, well, it probably won't, we won't be able to, it won't have any legal standing, so it would be challenging, we just have to back off it anyway. But I agree, I agree with the thought. I don't think you'll have much opposition there. I can't speak for the other four. But what do you have there, Jessica, for us?
It just simply says, Second Amendment Resolution of Mercer County Board of Commissioners, whereas on the 26th day of April 2021, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum signed a proclamation declaring North Dakota a Second Amendment sanctuary state, whereas the Mercer County Board of Commissioners are in agreement with the proclamation, now therefore the Board of Commissioners hereby resolve Mercer County will uphold the proclamation designating the state of North Dakota as a Second Amendment sanctuary state. And then it attaches the proclamation.
Can I see a copy?
As
of
far
that,
as
please? You read
this-
so fast, my brain doesn't think that
As
fast.
far as the Second Amendment portion of your resolution goes, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, I don't think there's any disagreement with that part of it. It's just just a reiteration of, solidifying that this has been recognized. And some of the stuff been worked on a little bit before Burgum came out and made those statements. So, but at the same time, it's, I guess it's a good reiteration. And,
Okay.
Publicly, because we don't always know, who's reading what or seeing what. So this is pretty general, but with the raising awareness to what could be coming down the pike, so to speak, is kind of how I'm seeing it. And I think that's kind of how the movement is looking at it also. So.
I have a letter to read to you, to the Mercer County, North Dakota Commissioners, to be read at the Mercer County, North Dakota Commissioner meeting, which is being held at the Mercer County, North Dakota Courthouse on Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. This letter is being written in support of the group presenting North Dakota for legal immigration and the Second Amendment for Mercer County. As the owner of the meat shop in Beulah, I have concerns related to both. I will be direct and brief to allow for other voices to be heard as well. I apologize for not being there, but I have slaughters scheduled today and have a difficult time rescheduling. With that in mind, I will address the Second Amendment first. As a butcher and as a recreational use gun owner, I find it very alarming to see what was pushed during the Obama administration and currently with the present administration. It is a very sad and unfortunate time as tragedy after tragedy claiming the lives of individuals are carried out in our country. It appears that it is happening almost daily with the weapon of choice being a gun. It is hard to decipher if this is really a new issue or one that is just being pushed by media to drive an agenda. Regardless, my position is the same. Mercer County needs to declare itself a Second Amendment sanctuary county, turn back state and federal overreach and corrupt use of power. The Second Amendment specifically says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Yes, I agree, this does not give me the right to recreational use or even my business per se. What it does do is keep a tyrannical government in check at every level, right down to those sitting right here and on our city boards and governments. I urge you to protect this county and declare Mercer County, North Dakota, a Second Amendment sanctuary county. In speaking to the other issue, I am totally against sanctuary cities and counties for illegal immigrants. What is going on across this country is an outrage, and it appears that the only way we will get in check is to do it at the local, county, and state level. We don't want the burden. I am all for legal immigration. I am all for foreign work agreements. I am not for illegal immigrants. This group of people are a burden to the system. The cost to the taxpayer is immense, and we all know that here in Mercer County, we have already faced multiple tax increases, issues, as well as budget cuts. I am a hardworking Mercer County business owner, doing my best to provide safe, reliable work for our residents. It is a very unfair practice to bring in undependable laborers that will struggle with communication, as most will not speak English and not be able to complete legal employee verification forms like the 19. I also see the communication barrier will create many issues within our social services, education, and law enforcement programs, again creating unnecessary burden and inefficient use of their professional time, again creating fiscal waste at taxpayer expense. Thus, I urge you to side with us today and say yes to legal immigration and absolutely no to illegal immigrants. If they come, even if the governor sends them, kick them out, send them home. We don't need the burden. Thank you respectfully, Keith Bone. And I have 2 signed copies.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you for reading that.
Okay, well. Yes.
Would you like some comments what the state did with this? Give those to you guys. I want to interrupt what they're doing.
Come forward and.
Yeah, we need you up by the microphone, Bill,
Yeah.
that's all.
Bill Twite, and now I've come to you as Representative Bill Twite for District 33. In the state legislature this year, we dealt with both these issues very thoroughly. 2 bills that I particularly worked on that were hand in hand with this was House Concurrent Resolution 3048. That was a resolution talking about illegal immigrants, and the governor did sign that resolution. It moved forward into going to the federal government. I don't have the verbiage along with me, but that simply said that we can't and won't accept illegal immigrants in North Dakota. There are some exceptions, and I think that's some of the concerns that this group is expressing. If they're brought into any federal-owned properties within the state, i.e. the Air Force bases, they can be housed there. But we can't do a thing about it. If they already have relatives here, legal relatives, or family members of, or concerned people, they can be brought in individually into those homes. You can't do anything about that. Any legislation that was adopted talked about group immigration of illegals. which would restrict the state of North Dakota, and it hopefully will stand up against the federal regulations. Senate Bill 2145, which was totally different, talked about the essential caregivers. We added into that some teeth then to back up that resolution of the illegal immigrants. Just a paragraph that was put in there last minute, end of April, last day of session, that just said we will not accept them, yet knowing that we have to accept them if they come through the federal system. We talked about legal and illegal. It's a stroke of the pen away from somebody signing down there that this person now is a legal immigrant. They've been fully vetted, and that's the concern. I support this group. I have not read the resolution to whether the verbiage is legal or otherwise. I will just simply say that any verbiage coming forward saying that we in Mercer County don't want immigrants here, we can't afford them. If they want to come legal, we will totally support them. And that's where I'm at. Any questions, I'll try to answer them.
I do have a question, Bill. The first one that you were talking about, the first, was it a House bill or a?
It's a House concurrent resolution. Again, resolutions don't have a lot of teeth. They just leave your opinion someplace. And that was 3048. That was one that I personally wrote and moved through the system. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Some good insight there.
And just one more comment, if I may. I think the intent is, legit. I think the heart of the idea is legit, and that's what we're trying to get across. And so I think you guys are understanding it like we want you to, and so hopefully it doesn't come to anything, but if it would, that there would be that understanding that the concerned citizens or this group is kind of keeping an eye on that, trying to represent, the right side of the issue, if you will. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, does any of the fellow commissioners want to take any action on this matter in any way?
I guess I'll stick my 2 cents in there, and risk the, whatever I get. I move that we deny.
No, we just don't have to even move on it then.
We don't have to move on it?
No.
No action's taken.
No action
Okay,
taken.
okay.
Yep.
I
That's,
just said that, well, I had a comment then. Loyal, I firmly believe in the Second Amendment. I am fully in agreement with the illegal aliens. I do feel I have to uphold the laws of the state of North Dakota and the United States, and I can't agree with the resolution as it's presented.
anybody got any, wanna make any? If we're not,
Well, Mr. Chairman, I can't see what this could, I'm referring to the Second Amendment resolution here to the state of North Dakota of what Governor Burgum has here. And I think that would be a nice direction for the board to go and support that particular statement that he has here to protect us as a sanctuary type state. And
in regards to the Second Amendment, yeah.
yes, and if you need a motion, I will make that motion to accept this resolution from from
That-
the governor, right?
Okay, so you're making a motion that we
Presented from the state's attorney.
accept the second amendment resolution of the Mercer County Board of Commissioners.
Right.
Whereas the one our state's attorney handed out to us.
The one the state's attorney here handed
With
out.
that language, okay? Beans, there's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I better write down.
I'm watching.
Yeah, we're right here, okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Wayne, how do you vote?
I'll vote aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Liza?
Aye.
Marvin?
Aye.
Gene will vote aye. Okay, so we adopted that resolution. It's just,
Yeah, he's got one and you got
And-
one here, so.
I'll give you a signed one. Can I have that? Can you get a original?
okay. Anything else? Hearing,
You wanna sign these?
oh, I can. Do I have to sign them while we're in session?
Oh, you are.
Well, I was gonna say, well, meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned.
Okay. Well, I think that supports somewhat what the. I guess those don't.
You too?